I just know that those joints right there, even when MJ was hooping in them, I was like, yo, them suckers are slick. Them suckers are
I'm with you.
slick. Those were, I want to say those were like the 90s too. But them joints, I'm like, I've seen all the other Jordans come out, but those
Yo,
classics.
I remember
Classics.
it. I remember holding on to Jordan so long, and they stayed so fresh because I didn't know what to do with them that they came back in style.
That's not a good thing. All
All
right.
right.
You got the
So
top.
I got the topics.
You doing today?
I got the topics. You got the intro.
I never have the intro.
All right, whatever. I'm gonna forget it this time. So
That's
I got a lot of topics. So
a lot. Okay.
a lot. First thing I wanted to talk about was the Spider-Man title, the Spider-Man title, the official one.
Mm-hmm.
First, they gave us that head fake yesterday where Tom Holland posted one title and
Mm-hmm. Zendaya, I think, posted another, or maybe the other. Ned. Uh,
Ned,
he posted another one.
yo, and then today they did the final reveal. What is it? Spider-Man
Uh, No Way Home, I think it was.
No Way Home.
Is that what it's called? Or like, ain't no home like Home Sweet Home.
They're not really memorable titles.
I mean, they always have home. There's Homecoming, Far From Home, and now it sounds like
No Way Home.
yeah. Oh my God! Breaking news: Jeepers Creepers Reborn has just gotten sold to Screen Media, and it gets 2021 release.
Yes. Yes.
The Creeper
Yes.
is back and looking for blood. I never saw the
Yo,
third one. I never saw the
the,
third one.
the third
I've seen
one.
the first two. The first two I love. I love the first two. I
Okay.
haven't seen the third one because I know what was it like the director or something was caught up in some mess. Um,
Now, I don't know what happened with the director. I do know, like, the third one, to me, it seemed like it was made for TV or something. It wasn't of the same quality, but if you walked into it with the right mindset, it was a lot of fun, right? You got to walk
okay.
into it like you walk into watching Sharknado, okay? It's
Oh,
not something you're gonna
oh
really.
no. Oh no. Like I never looked at the Jeepers Creepers stuff in that lens. Like I thought both movies were superior to the B movie Sharknado level. You know.
Yes, they were.
Uh, but if you're telling me the third one is on that level, I'm not looking forward to that at all.
Well, I'm saying that after the property went idle for a while, it slipped through hands of far as who was going to be producing and releasing the film, and what we got was not exactly the same.
Here's the log line. The film unfolds as the Horror Hound Festival holds its first ever event in Louisiana, where it attracts hundreds of geeks, freaks, and diehard horror fans far and wide. Among them is fanboy Chase and his girlfriend Lane, who is forced to come along for the ride. But as the event approaches, Lane begins to experience unexplained premonitions and disturbing visions associated with the town's past, and in particular local legend, urban myth, the Creeper. As the festival arrives and the blood soaked entertainment builds to a frenzy, Lane believes that something unearthly has been summoned and that she is at the center of it.
I like this. It doesn't need a really, in-depth premise. Jeepers Creepers. I don't know what you remember of it. It doesn't. I don't remember it relying on an in-depth premise. It just
No, 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 I take that back. No, it what I liked about it is it started to build its own mythology. And
yes.
that to me is something that I will always respect. Like
Yep.
the quality of the film is one thing, but when
Hmm.
you build your own mythology and you're consistent and you're, very adamant about it, you're getting at least creativity points from me. One series that two series that I remember from the '90s that immediately got my respect was Wishmaster.
Hmm.
The Wishmaster series, because again, self-contained, wasn't blockbuster, but like, man, did they really commit themselves to their own mythology, right?
Yes.
And the other one was with Christopher Walken, The Prophecy. Oh, I loved The Prophecy so much. Prophecy 1 through 5, however many it was. That series right there, because I was always partial to religiously themed, stuff, and they blended religion and horror, and I was just like, this is dope. So
Yep.
yeah, Jeepers Creepers kind of does the same thing. Like, they're committed to their own mythology, and I love it.
Well, let's see what they're going to do with Reborn. Is this going to be a sequel or a reboot? Does it
I
say?
think it's a continuation.
Ooh. We'll see. All right then.
Yeah. Oh
Um.
yeah. So we were talking about Spider-Man. Uh,
Oh yeah, Spider-Man.
No Way Home.
No
No
Way
Way
Home.
Home. Yeah,
Okay.
No Way Home. Which is, you know, if Homecoming was kind of like, hey, he's coming home, I guess. Like,
So
they play into some sort of theme of the show, of the
does
movie.
does Spider-Man does this film release before or after Doctor Strange?
Before it comes out this Christmas. Doctor Strange is not until 2022.
It's interesting.
Very interesting. So whatever's gonna happen, I think Spider-Man's gonna kick this off, or maybe it's Loki.
Nah,
Maybe no,
I think
when is
it's
Loki?
Loki.
I think Loki is first.
I think
Loki's gonna happen like in July of 2021. So whatever multiverse blah 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 stuff happens, it's probably gonna be Loki's fault,
okay.
and that's probably why the Time Police or whoever had to get involved, because Loki done messed up everything, and yeah,
So
Spider-Man's gonna be a part of that.
we're gonna get into our WandaVision and Marvel and
Yeah.
all that other stuff talk. We're gonna get to it. Real quick, I just kind of wanted to throw out there that the Halo TV trailer is coming,
Okay.
and it looks really, really good.
Okay.
Like, are you a fan of Halo? Were you like an Xbox?
I was
No,
always
just a little bit.
PlayStation.
It was always PlayStation. Okay.
Always PlayStation.
All right, because I know, like me, I was a diehard. I had a PS2. People had an Xbox. I was diehard PS2, PS3, not so much. And that was mainly because of Halo. Halo lured me away from the PlayStation for
Mm,
one generation. I had a 360.
hmm.
If that thing didn't red ring, I would have stayed with
Ah.
it. But that Halo TV show is coming. I wish I could show something, but it's gonna look really good.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
Um, oh, I know it's something that's interesting. That's going to be somewhat uh, related. Movie theaters are reopening in New York City.
Yes, they are, and that is doing some numbers. I mean, they just opened up in Chicago out here. I want to say like 3 weeks ago, 2, 3 weeks ago. Not a lot to you know look at,
Hmm.
but I do know that the interesting thing is like what some studios are doing around it. I mean, for one, you haven't seen Marvel, for example, push back Black Widow. That's still coming out in May.
Yep.
Um, you still have, I mean, WB has still stuck to their, immediate release stuff, which I think is kind of dumb now. Like, in hindsight, I think it's going to be kind of dumb, especially if we're like all the way in, I don't know, July, and let's just say the numbers and cases go down significantly. Y'all still doing this? Y'all not about to drop, this blockbuster hit movie? You really about to drop The Matrix 4 on HBO? Y'all not gonna put that in the theaters? I mean, they're doing the dual release, don't get me wrong, but it just seems like this seems like a gambit that they should have pulled case by case and not necessarily drop your whole slate. If you want to say like, hey, you know what, for the first quarter until May, everything up till then, we're dropping it then. And then, you play it by ear. But the fact that they doing that, I feel like they're going to lose more money, um, in terms of earning potential, just
Okay.
earning potential. Because yeah, you'll get the subscribers, but you're probably also missing out on the extra $300-400 million, that you would have gotten
Let's
in
be real. Let's be
time.
real. It's not the subscribers that are going to benefit. It's the people who are going to pirate it, right? Like as soon as it hits the streaming platform, now the people who pirate it
It
are going
could
to
be
have
that
their
too.
quality there.
It could
So
be that too.
that's a huge gamble for them
I don't know
in
nothing
a
about
lot of
Pirate
levels.
Bay, so I don't,
I'm
me
not
no
saying I
speaking
do it, but
English,
I know it exists. I know it exists.
I don't know nothing about that. No. But yeah, no, it's great that like you said, it opens up in theaters in New York. I mean, AMC stock took a little bump up, Um, but the more interesting thing to me is what Paramount is doing. Paramount Plus or whatever their streaming platform they're doing.
Okay.
They have announced that they are going to go ahead and release, what is it? It's Mission Impossible and another movie. So A Quiet Place Part 2 and Mission Impossible 7 are both going to come out in theaters, but they are shrinking the release window. So normally the release window is like, 3 months, 90 days or something like that. But now they're shrinking it to just 45, which I think is a good compromise. Like, since we're in the age of streaming now, and we're still in the pandemic, and even though these movies come out, like, I want to say in April or something, it's great that they're going to capitalize on it. You have about 45 days. What is that, like 6 weeks to go see it in theaters if you really gotta hurry up and go see it. And if you
Yeah.
don't want to, it's cool because it'll come to your streaming platform later. So
Yeah.
I think that's a really nice compromise. Back in the day when we had to wait 90 days or longer sometimes, you know, it used to be worth it only because the physical media, the DVDs, the Blu-rays, they used to come with extra stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might be waiting for that director's cut. You might be waiting for the alternate endings,
Yep.
which I used to love, by the
I
way.
used to
That
love those.
that right there, I will take
Yeah.
an alternate ending over a post-credit scene any day.
Are you one of those people that would be like, as immediately after you watch the movie, you go straight to the extra credits to see how they would have done the scenes differently, or do you like do that later?
What do you mean? Like, if I have the DVD?
Yeah, like I remember back when I used to get when I got like the Matrix DVD, like
Yeah.
for the first time or something, like I immediately went to like whatever extras or documentaries they had
Oh,
after I watched
before watching it?
after watching it. Like
Oh,
immediately
no, no.
after, like I would binge.
After watching it, yeah, after watching it, I would go through every single bonus feature. I would start with the alternate endings first, and then I would go to the deleted scenes. And then, if I had enough time, I'd go through director's commentary. Like,
Oh man.
if I was really, really invested, like the Matrix, I would do director's commentary for that.
Absolutely.
What was it? Uh, Not Interstellar, Inception. I would do
Inception.
director's commentary for that. You know what I'm saying? Like those type of movies that, let's say, if I didn't have a group of people to bounce ideas off of and talk to, I'm going through that stuff. But
Yep.
um, you know, right now that's not really happening. But
So
hey, now that we mention it, I think that'd be a dope pivot, especially for if you're talking about DC, Marvel, like everybody wants to do the post credit scene because Marvel made it cool. But
mhm.
imagine if we got back to alternate endings and people could just sit there and debate and be like, yo, I like this ending more. No, this one is better. Like, that's a thing that I think needs to come back. Because man, when I tell you, like, some of those endings used to be like, yo, like,
Yeah.
it used to blow me away. Like, yo, y'all should have went with this. Just like Get Out. Get Out had a alternate ending. That a lot of people just didn't get to hear about.
I don't
You
know.
know, you didn't know about it?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh man, dog. Get Out has an alternate ending. And the reason why it got scrapped, and this was supposed to be the original ending. So what we saw in theaters or whenever, um, that was the changed ending. The original ending was way more depressing.
Really?
And yeah, and the test screen audience, they was like, "Yo, we love the movie, but this ending, gee, is like terrible." It's depressing. But the funny thing is, the ending that originally was supposed to happen, it was real.
Oh,
Like he kept it real. He kept it funky. I don't want to ruin it in case you want to go watch it yourself. It's nothing dramatic, but it is like the most logical consequence you could think of if a black man was found killing an entire white family, a rich family. You could put the rest together,
yeah.
So,
Okay. Okay.
um, but yeah, the test audience was not feeling it. I guess it was they wanted that happier ending. Uh, and I was sitting there like, man, they should have went with that original because that's the real horror. That's to me, that's the real social horror. Yeah.
So I'm curious about Paramount Plus now that we've
Yeah.
started to open this Pandora's. We touched on this before, right? Paramount Plus, and I mentioned it.
Yeah, they coming up. They doing their little thing.
Now that I think today it was, they announced like their whole slate of like how they're gonna do things, like all the shows. Like they're bringing back Frasier. They're doing a Frasier revival for some reason.
Hmm.
But like they're really investing a lot into this streaming platform to like really separate it from the other streaming platforms.
Hmm.
They're uniting a lot of the programming under their banners, kind of like Warner Brothers did, but like when they assemble this stuff, it makes me really understand like some of the cool stuff they have going.
Hmm. Hmm.
They've got a show with Jeremy Renner, mayor of Kingstown. Didn't know
Hmm.
about that. They've got a
Hmm.
Halo TV show. They've got uh, a new series from Kenya Barris, The Italian Job. They've got, of course, the Star Trek shows they've been doing on CBS All Access.
Hmm.
They're going to bring the Daily Show. I guess they're bringing the Comedy Central, the MTV, the BET, and all this stuff under the banner as well. They're bringing back Avatar: The Last Airbender cartoon, and they're having the original creators continue the series.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like, all right, I could keep going. I'm geeking out.
No,
Okay,
hey, that's fine.
right.
That's
And
fine.
this is in addition to what you mentioned earlier about the 45-day release window for those movies. So that's with like Top Gun Maverick was the other movie, I guess. A
Yeah.
Quiet Place and Mission Impossible 7.
Yeah. Which are
Um,
good though, and the thing is, those are good movies to keep under wraps because they usually sell their movies. They've been selling their movies to other streaming platforms.
yeah.
But now they're like, wait, 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 we got to keep some of these. Like don't give everything away. So like Trial of Chicago 7, they gave that to Netflix. Um, what was it? The U.S. versus Billie Holiday, which I still haven't seen. They gave that to Amazon, I want to say. They got that. So, you know, that was a smart decision, I guess, because again, they didn't have a streaming platform to do it. So they was like, yo, we got to eat some way. So let's sell it to these streaming platforms. So, you know, it's not bad.
I So the only thing that's going to rub people a little bit is the pricing, and that's the ad supported for $4.99 a month, or the non-ad supported. I think for what is it, $2 more, $3 more, something like that. There's two
Hmm.
tiers, right?
Hmm.
Like, and the
Remember what I
idea
told you? That ad supported cannot keep up. You can't do just ads and let it be free. It's
it's not
not.
free. No, it's not
No, no,
free.
no.
It's
I
four
know,
ninety
but
nine with
no,
ads.
I know. But remember, we were talking about this before, where you were like, "Yo, they can always just offer it for free, but make it ad supported. It's not going to balance out. You don't make enough with the ads to justify the cost. Especially if you have a huge, I would say, imbalance. Like if you have, like let's say you have 60% of people on that free platform and not your paid one,
Yeah,
the ads is not going to keep up. The pay,
I,
if it was flipped 60-40, all right, cool, you can kind of justify it, but eh, you know the ad-supported stuff, it's cool, but they will charge you for that
Now that wasn't
eventually.
Paramount Plus or
No,
CBS with them. It was
just talking in general about that one.
yeah.
I think it was Hulu at first we were talking about.
Well, Hulu did it at first.
Like
There's
they
a platform
started,
that does it now. I know like Pluto is all ad supported and
yeah,
IMDb is all ad supported, and there's a bunch of other
yeah.
little random small guys
But
out there.
once they start actually getting bigger and their bandwidth goes up and their demand goes up and their, you know, need for production goes up, they're gonna start tapping. They pass the cost on. It happens all the time.
I can't wait to be able to show this Halo thing.
Well, by the time you're able to, I'm sure they'll have the real trailer all ready to go.
I know, I know. What else did I have here? Let's move on to something else. Oh,
You don't want to finish talking about Spider-Man?
Spider-Man. What else is there to say about Spider-Man?
I don't know, like just the name and the title and what it might mean.
I like, you know what I really like? I like their marketing that they're doing right now, right? Something I noticed that Marvel has adopted in phase four is that they're really using the fan base and playing into the fact that people hound after every little nugget of detail wherever they can find it, and they use that as promotion, right? They're not
That's what
slapping
they
billboards
should have been
everywhere.
doing. They should have been doing that forever. Now, to be fair, I don't know if Marvel is doing this Spider-Man promotion or if it's Sony. I think it's Sony. I think this time it's Sony.
I don't know, man. This Sony, this, I'm not
Sony's
gonna.
not very creative, but they also steal.
No, I'm
And,
just saying it just doesn't seem like their style, right?
but
Like when
that's the
you look at
thing
stuff
though.
from like
No,
Monster Hunter and
you're right, but that's the thing. What is it? Alan Rothsman or whatever the CEO is for Sony Productions or Entertainment. He said basically, we've worked with Kevin Feige. We've taken notes. We know what to do. We think we got it from here. So unfortunately, I think that that's laughable because Kevin Feige is always um, innovating things. Like he's kind of like the Steve Jobs of like the cinematic film industry right now. On a franchise level. I'm not saying he can make a masterpiece, but from a
yeah,
producer production standpoint, my man is doing what Steve Jobs was doing for Apple. If
yeah,
Kevin Feige is attached to something, he's not only making it popular off of hype, he's bringing a different element in there that is tapping right into what fans want. Like I said, if they do this, especially for WandaVision,
hmm,
with the allotment of the runtime and everything, let's just say the next episode is another 30 minutes. That means that the final episode is probably an hour and a half, or more. Like, that's genius. How many
it's like
times
2 episodes in one.
it's no, it's actually like three. Or you could also think of it as it's a movie. So that's really innovative thinking. How long have we been in TV and you only have a handful of shows that might do something like that for their season finale?
Hmm.
So yeah, long story short, I don't know if I trust Sony with a lot of stuff, but this is the
But the
last.
marketing, the marketing, the
Yes.
marketing. So
This
like the
is
way that
like
they're handling the marketing right now, like with WandaVision, right? They've got us all, digging at every clue, every detail, promoting the hell out of this show for them. There's like no, they did a great job promoting it as well. But like they're feeding into it really early with the promotion of Spider-Man, right? They have Tom Holland feeding into the story of Tom Holland slipping things, so they give him a fake movie title, and then they do that around, and then they have us all report it, and then they do the big reveal of the real movie title. That was great. That was really genius, and it was a cute little clever way they did it with them creating that video to release the title.
hmm hmm
So like one thing like I said, I noticed I really appreciate that's different about Spider-Man to talk about it a little more. I noticed that they've changed in the marketing approach, and I'm curious how they're going to keep misdirecting us. Now, one thing that came out before was about Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire being inside the film,
Hmm.
and Tom Holland was asked about it, and he said, no, absolutely not. Not unless they've been able to keep a huge secret from me without telling me about it, which I don't think is possible. So no, these guys aren't in the film. And then obviously they do this little tongue-in-cheek joke with the marketing of him not knowing the title of the movie, let alone who's in it.
Right. Right.
So it's cute little marketing they're doing.
No,
They're
it's smart.
playing
Like
into their
the closest
information
I
that's
could
out
see to
there.
this is this is similar to what Deadpool did, and I thought it was genius. Like, matter of fact, I take that back. Also, Batman v Superman did something like this slightly. They messed up with their trailers, but they had one. And this is something I've wanted more marketing promotional companies to do, which is you can show us the trailer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the trailer's fine as long as the trailer doesn't give away big plot points. Like,
Mm-hmm.
the trailer should do one or two things: give us an idea, not tell us exactly, but give us an idea of what the movie is going to be about. So that way, I'm not walking into a horror movie thinking it's going to be a romantic comedy. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I'm looking at you, what was that? The Cabin in the Woods. Stupid. Anyway, so we don't want it to be a send off, but at the same time, you also want your trailers to maybe communicate whatever emotion that you want. So when Avengers Endgame, when they were doing their trailers and they showed us barely anything, we knew that this was going to explore the trauma of loss and all the depression and stuff. Like, that's what those trailers emoted. They didn't emote, hey, there's going to be a big battle and it's going to be crazy and Thanos against all of it. They didn't market that. They was like, nah, we're going to talk about and focus on the fact that half of the people died and they were gone. That was good marketing. Deadpool did something similar, to the point where they were like, we're not even going to show you the actual movie. Like, we're just going to show you Deadpool swinging on the, bridge, doodling. Yeah, we'll show you the little quick action scene, but
Yep.
most of it is, this is about Deadpool. Get
Yep.
to know Deadpool,
Yep.
and when you do that, I'm going to go watch the movie, even though I had no idea what the plot was. I had
Yep.
no idea, and Batman v Superman, they kind of did this where they had Bruce Wayne, flying on an airplane and stuff like that. And I'm like, this is good marketing, because again, you're getting me, you're allowing me to get to know this character, and you're not telling me about the movie. This is what y'all need to do. Like, people will come if you do this. And then if you want to throw like a 15-second, splish splash, fine. But, oh man.
Yo.
So I agree with you with what they were doing with Spider-Man. Is solid work, and they need to keep this going. I don't want to. I honestly don't want to see any real Spider-Man 3 footage.
I do, but I don't think they need to do it yet.
No. What I mean by that is, I don't need y'all to show me everybody that's gonna be in this,
Yeah.
because we already have all these reports. We already know that Doc Ock is gonna be there, Jamie Foxx, and
Yeah.
I don't need to
We
see all
don't
of
need to
this.
feel that. I already know. Just
Like,
like tease
e-
me in other ways.
even if Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, I still don't want to see that. Leave all of that for the movie. And if people are like, oh well, y'all didn't sell me, guess what? The hype and word of mouth at this day and age, that'll be your marketing right there. You can save
Yep.
all the marketing dollars, and if you actually let the movie do its work, everything else will fall, because people are gonna be like, that was great. Oh, okay, let me go
So
check it out.
another movie that's kind of doing that, and it's another movie that's I'm personally excited to see, even though I don't know how it's a weird feeling. Justice League. Zack Snyder's Justice League. It's also doing similar marketing. They're releasing little snippets. They finally released a trailer on Valentine's Day, but they're really relying on people's word of mouth and excitement to promote it. Why are you giving me that look?
All right, man.
Justice League. It's going to be the 4-hour epic film that Zack Snyder originally envisioned. Now,
Bro, why do you need a 4 hour film? Why do
no,
you, I've
no,
said this before, I'll say
hold
it.
on. Originally, it was going to be 3 hours, but he pushed it to 4 hours because at this point, it's like, why not, right? They're not going to let me do a Justice League 2. Why not? Let me squeeze in as much movie as I can here.
Whack.
And the fact that they're not going to use any footage from JW, that's really exciting. It's like it's a completely different movie. We're getting a whole new Justice League movie when we didn't even think we were going to get one. I'm okay with that.
I mean, I was okay with that too, but the fact that, again, I mean, I've told you, my biggest issue with Snyder is that he will overstuff things. And I feel like if you have a 4 hour movie, that's exactly what you're about to do. You're about to overstuff this.
Yes, he overstuffed. Well, how long was Batman v Superman? Like 3 hours,
Something like that. It was too
right?
long. It was too
and
long, and you wasted Superman's death. And you wasted that.
it was stuffed. But
And it was
imagine
stuff.
how much he's going to cram into this. We're going to get more
Oh,
characters, more Green
it's
Lanterns.
not a good thing.
Yes, you know what? This is. Here's my thing, right? I long stopped watching DC movies in theaters. We know this, right? I haven't watched Shazam. I'm not going to. I don't plan to yet. Um, I did watch Aquaman, but I'm not really going to watch DC movies except this one. It's coming out to home release, and we need to give it that same approach that we would with any other film that's like lowered expectations. This is like going to go see like a good Friday the 13th or slasher movie or
Man,
Final Destination, right? You're not
man,
going to see good story. You're going to see mayhem and talk about it when you're done.
man, look. They are going to the issue I have with this is the fact that people are going to go into Justice League, into the Snyder Cut, and they're not going to base this on whether the movie's actually good or not on its own merit. That's not what's going to happen.
We
There's an
don't know
all
that.
No, we do know that. There's a baked in expectation that people are going to go into this and they're going to compare it to the Justice League, the theatrical Joss Whedon version. They're
Yes.
going to be like that is the automatic assumption by the majority of
Yeah,
people
but we're
that are going
also
to go
going to
in.
see if it's a good movie, right? We're going to see
No,
if
we
we see Henry
won't.
Cavill's
No, what I'm
mustache. We want to know
saying,
if we see that.
that's not the base, but that's my point. You're basing that off of the trash that you saw
No,
there.
no,
So
no,
here's the
no,
thing.
no.
So here's the thing. Henry Cavill, let's just go with that example. Henry
Mm-hmm.
Cavill could probably be stiff and just whatever, but because the CGI looks fine, it's automatically better because they didn't screw up like they
Hold
did
on,
in the theatrical one.
hold on. Henry Cavill has always been stiff. Let's be honest. His
I
interpretation
agree.
of the character is not like
I agree, but what I'm saying is no one's going to base it off of what they actually see. They're going to base it off of how bad was Justice
mm,
League, and if this is remotely better, that is the new low.
see
Like
this.
that's the
These are
standard.
your expectations here. You gotta, mm, you gotta.
You
Mm.
don't have to tell me that. You need to tell everybody else that because to me, I'm like, my expectations were already here, but because everybody else is about to judge it off of Justice League, the bar's even lower.
No.
So it's kind of like,
So
yo, if
no.
all we could do is just a little hop
Let
step,
me let me
we win.
I expect like shock and awe. At this point, I expect Zack Snyder to do things that, like, first off, in the last movie, we saw Batman killing a bunch of people, and that was when he was restrained. This time, he said he didn't even take a paycheck for this movie, just so he didn't have any reservation about fighting for what he wanted in it. I expect him to go all in. I expect him to show Batman's penis. I expect him to have Batman kill people. I expect the Joker to eat babies. Like I expect a
They
lot.
already
I
got him
expect him
as
to
like a
go
Jesus
all
figure.
in, all in. Right?
They already
Sure.
got him as a Jesus figure.
Why not? Right? I expect Zack Snyder to go all in. Like when I say all in, I mean like sucker punch, all in. Just lean into the crazy. Just don't even care anymore. And that's fun. That can have its place in cinema too, right? Not everything is going to be like the MCU and tell
Hey
a
man,
cohesive
no,
narrative and
I,
stuff
I
like that.
no,
Sometimes it'll just be fun.
no, I disagree with a lot of that, mainly because when I hear you say some things can just be fun, I think of Shazam. Shazam was just fun, and it also told a cohesive story. Like that to me is fine. It didn't rely on being part of the franchise. I mean, even though it was, like that, it was just a fun story. But there's a difference between having a fun story and just like a glob of mess that you just hodgepodge together because you just can't make, because you don't have the discipline to sit here and just be like, yo, how about I cut some stuff? How
No,
about I just trim some stuff? Maybe we don't need half
bro.
of the DC roster
Nah, but
in
Justice
all
League
of
tells a
this.
story. Justice League does
Does it?
tell. They
I
do.
bet you
They've
it
been
tells.
telling a
I
story
bet you
since
it
Man
tells
of
three
Steel,
stories. I bet you
right?
it tells three stories.
We've been
It can't even,
following the story. No,
dude, for
we've been
four
following the
hours. For
story of
4 hours.
Superman.
Let me ask you this. Let me
Man of
ask.
remember Batman versus Superman was originally the second Superman movie, right? Originally it was going to be Man of Steel 2, and then they transformed into Batman v Superman. We've been following the story of Superman. We followed him ascension as a hero and Man of Steel, then his disillusion with mankind, and then ultimate death in Batman v Superman. And then he's supposed to come back a more refined Superman, hopefully, after now he learns why he's sacrificing for us. For us. That's the story. This is the story of Superman. Everybody else is just supporting characters.
All right.
Right? That's why Lex Luthor was the catalyst, even though it was a Batman v Superman story, right? That's why they had Zod become Doomsday, right? It's a Superman story at heart. That's why they killed him.
All
That's
right.
why he's activating the mother boxes,
Mm-hmm.
right? In the new movie.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you don't know good movies.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um, what else? What else? I had a couple little things. This ain't even worth going into. Tom and Jerry. I was just mad. I was just mad because like it's coming out Friday and I ain't get a screener. I know you're promoting like a giveaway for it. You can't really comment on it, but I was just mad.
Oh, I don't. I can comment on. I don't care. I don't care about this movie. I mean, I promote it for the fans, for the people. You know what I'm saying? So other people out there can have something. They can, I'm that part. I'm always cool with, but I ain't gonna see no review from me.
There's some news. There's been a bunch of news. Train to Busan is getting a remake,
I don't know why.
right? Didn't it just come out? Didn't they just come out with a
First
sequel?
of all, why are you even making an American version of this when it's literally based? Like, where we
On a
gonna get the
train,
high speed train? Where we gonna get that in America? We ain't even
uh,
got one.
Tesla. I'm going to get it
Stop
from
it.
Elon.
Stop it.
Train
We don't
to
even
LA.
we don't even have their technology.
Train to
Well, what's this
LA.
gonna be like?
Train
Train
to
to
Schenectady.
like train to Philly? Like what are we doing? What are we doing? Like this is
Train to Toronto.
oh this reminds me of, and I don't care what they do with this. Like that I just don't believe they're gonna be able to
It's like
top.
Girl and Dragon Tattoo. It's like
No,
the
no,
girl.
no. Well, yeah, that's a good one. I would say my personal connection would be this is just like Rec or REC or Record,
Mm,
and what they did with Quarantine, because Quarantine was the Americanized version of that. And the problem is once you Americanize certain things, you start to notice the stark differences in shooting technique, in the storytelling, just in the characters in themselves. Like in
that's a
Train to
big thing.
Busan, you have a character who does a self-sacrificial move, and it might seem stupid to us, but for that culture it was a very honorable thing that they did.
Yeah.
So and it's kind of like the same thing when I look at like Record or whatever, which is a phenomenal movie, by the way. Like, if you saw Quarantine, you thought it was you need to go watch Record. Like, the way they shot it in like this. It wasn't first person. It was kind of first person. It was actually more second person than first person. And it almost shot like a reality show. Like, before reality shows were trendy though. So it
Hmm.
was almost like watching the real world, or something. And the way that they were shooting everything, and I want to say it was in one take. I want to say that, but the way they shot it, they didn't do the Americanized type of things like, let's throw in some jump scares to get people going, or let's turn up the music here and do. Nah, man, like
Yeah.
they legit scare you with legit things. Like, if somebody's chasing you, it's almost like if you were in a haunted house and somebody was chasing you.
And
It's not pretty. It's not staged. It's, man, the authenticity was so much better.
and that's what's going to be the challenge with Train to Busan because it's so rooted in the culture, right? A lot of the characters, a lot of the storytelling, a lot of the charm is rooted in that Asian culture, and
Yeah,
and adapting that into American storytelling is it's going to be rough. Another thing I hate is just when they do a remake way too close to the
yeah,
release of an original. You
yeah.
know,
They just
one
dropped the sequel
they
for
just
Train to
dropped the
Busan.
sequel
Yeah,
last summer, right?
yeah,
Peninsula, and
yeah.
it was all right. It was pretty
It was
good.
cool.
I
It
enjoyed it.
it wasn't as good as the first one, but it was still fine.
Yeah, it was great. It was good. It was good. It was great. I enjoyed it. But what I was gonna say was like it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. The fact that they're gonna be doing something so soon. Like I think of like you ever see that Death at a Funeral?
Sounds familiar.
It was like they did a remake. They had Chris Rock in it and Martin Lawrence, and it was a remake of a British film. And like the original film was so different. It was so good. It was so well in ingrained in British culture that when they translated it into an American remake, and then they put like Chris Rock with Martin and why can't I think of his
Kevin
name?
Hart.
I think Kevin Hart was in it as well.
I don't
Um,
even remember this movie. You really about to look it up?
Yeah, and they had
It
Sean Marsden, like the dude that played Cyclops, Peter Dinklage. Like it had a really interesting, weird mix of a cast, right? Not Chris, not it's Martin Lawrence, Tracy Morgan, Chris Rock, Zoe Saldana, Peter Dinklage, Luke Wilson.
Ooh, man, this sound whack. Man, I could have told you that. If you had told me that's the cast, I'd be like, bro, don't do it.
So it was like the original movie did really well when it was released in its territory, and it was super popular, and they adapted this movie super fast, and it was like I don't know if they knew that it might not do well, but then they started shoving or what I think is like they started star stuffing, right? They take a lot of big names and they
Yeah,
stuff it into the film, and they
romantic
try,
comedies do that a lot.
right? They star stuff the movie and then they put it out there to try to attract people. And I like the original. I actually gave the remake a shot. It was okay. It was very. It was
Cheesy.
it wasn't that it was cheesy. It was almost a line for line remake, which is what made it not good.
Gotcha.
Right? You
Gotcha.
when you see I'm sorry, yeah, Martin Lawrence and Chris Rock doing the roles of characters that were I don't know, I forget who originally played their characters in the UK version, but
Mm,
it was a huge difference.
mm, 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 mm.
Needless to say, nobody was black.
Of course.
But I think one thing that's interesting is that Peter Dinklage was in both versions.
Yeah, that's funny.
I did mention that I did have here that Adam Wingard is doing the Face Off remake. I'm kind of annoyed that they're remaking Face Off, but I guess
I am
enough time
too.
has passed.
I mean, look, you can remake things from the 90s at this point. 80s to 90s, only because it's been 30 years. You know, at least,
It's
at
very good.
least people, another generation has grown up and they can approach that film with fresh eyes the same around the same time. I just don't like it because, as a 30-year-old, like, you know, I still remember these things when they came out. Like, and I could go back and watch Face Off right now and still feel content. That's the other thing. Like, I'd rather you guys do remakes of movies that were terrible but had potential.
Here's the problem with Face Off. It's like, certain movies age well, and this one
Yes.
I think aged well. It's
Yeah.
just that the stars in it don't
Yeah.
have the same reputation they had when it was
They don't.
released. And that's what's tough to make it attractive to new audiences. So at this point, they're just like, just remake it, right? What worries me is Adam Wingard. Now, I
That
don't
too.
know the director well enough, right? I
I
haven't
need to look
seen
them up
God's.
now.
I have his list of projects here. He did obviously he's doing Godzilla versus Kong, which is coming out soon, so we'll get to see his work there.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be let's see. Okay, so he did Blair Witch, he did The
He did
Guest.
he did Death Note
Wait, which one?
2017.
Jesus. Hell no. Oh no.
The Netflix one.
Oh no. No, 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 no. That was so terrible. Oh, how did this guy keep getting work? Yo, that was his last movie before Kong and Godzilla.
No, he did Death Note. Yeah, Death Note was right before Godzilla and
Uh,
Kong. Then Blair Witch. Then before that, The Guest.
did you ever watch VHS?
No.
Ooh, don't. I mean, you can. VHS is, I mean, because it has
Well,
different
I might
directors.
have. Did I?
They have different directors, but
I
man,
might have.
look, I've watched one or two of them. Them things are so messed up and so jacked up. You just gonna have too many things in your mind that don't need to be in your mind, and you gonna wish you didn't. You gonna wish you said never mind.
So
Not, I mean, it's just like some things are just disturbing. It's just very disturbing. Um, but I am very, very skeptical of this now. I mean, the guy did Blair Witch, which, and I get, what is this? This is the remix. This is the remake of Blair Witch, and that just
yeah,
didn't go well.
I
Um,
think I think it got. I think it did get positive reaction. I
well,
just
on
don't.
IMDb, it's a 5 out of 10, which is
Yeah,
not
but it
good.
made
Oh my
45
God.
million on a
And he
five
got
million dollar
Death
budget.
Note made 4.5 out of 10.
But hold on. Blair Witch made 45 million on a $5 million budget. That's a success. It made 9 times its
Yeah,
budget.
but I'm saying just because it made money doesn't mean that
No, but
you
that
know
means you're gonna get more work.
no, you'll get more work for sure. But then again, you know, his last movie was 5 years ago, 4 years ago. Before he touched Kong.
He was.
So
I mean, Godzilla versus Kong is a big endeavor.
it is, and I'm hoping that he is successful with this because I remember there it is possible for a director to make bad movies and then to all of a sudden pop with a good
Mm-hmm.
one. You
Mm-hmm.
know, one that stands out to me. What did he do? He did. I will tell you exactly what he did. Where is he? Where is he? No, wrong director. Nope, not him. Okay, he did Lights Out, I think. Yes. David Sandberg. That's it.
Oh yeah.
David Sandberg has been very, very questionable to me. Um, the issue that I had with him, let me go through his credits real quick.
David
Um,
Sandberg.
David Sandberg, yeah. He
Oh.
did his first feature was Lights Out in 2016, and it was based on the what movie was it? It was based off of the movie. It was a short film that won some awards, like at a horror film festival, and it was cool. Like you've seen
It's like.
parodies of it before, like that that movie scene where somebody's in the hallway in their house, they
Mm-hmm.
turn off all their lights, and then they see something at the end of the hall. Then they flick the lights on, nothing's there. Turn it off, they see a shadow. Flick it on, they see something. Flick it up, and going back and
That's
forth.
him.
So that was based off of a short film, which, by the way, that short film is phenomenal. Like it's scary. Like
Hold
it's
on, hold
good
on.
scary.
Isn't David Sandberg the same guy who directed Shazam?
Yes, and that's what I was saying. Like my man came off with a terrible movie with Lights Out, and then he came and did Annabelle Creation, which I want to say was that the second one? Yes, that was the second one, and that was, in my opinion, it was better because the first Annabelle was terrible. But he came in and did a better job with it, and you could just see the growth in his direction because when I was watching Lights Out, I was like, dude, you're completely relying on jump scares, just cheap, horror 101 tactics. And when he got into Annabelle Creation, you saw him up the game a little bit. Like he started working with atmosphere more. He started working with, mind tricks and stuff. And then to pivot to do Shazam, and actually, I thought Shazam was really, really well done. Um, he progressed. So I'm hoping, just to bring it full circle, I'm hoping that um, that is the case. That he does, that Adam Wingard does, um, you know, a good job with that. Oh, he did
Hmm.
the short too. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. Interesting. So his short apparently won at a festival, and then they let him do a full movie, and the full movie sucked. But his short is phenomenal.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God. Yeah. His short has a higher rating than his movie that it's
Yeah.
based off of.
I like how it's interesting to me how these
I'm gonna send you.
horror
I'm gonna send
directors
it to you.
are doing these DC movies and doing them all right.
I'm okay with that.
So he's gonna do Shazam: Fury of the Gods, and then he's gonna do The Culling.
Hmm.
Okay. But yeah, it's cool when some of these directors just break out of whatever funk they're in. They get out of their freshman or sophomore slump and they get better.
Hmm.
Here's someone. This is a different subject. I'm switching gears now.
Hmm.
Kenya Barris and 50 Cent are teaming for the 50th Law of Power show.
I don't care.
You don't care?
No.
Why not?
Why would I?
50 Cent
Okay.
has actually really grown as a producer over the 15 or 20 years that he's been doing this,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
He's actually releasing some really quality stuff now. His stuff is
Hmm.
all hit, right? I think he's got the number one show on ABC right now with For
That's
Life.
number one.
With For Life, yeah,
That is number one.
yes. He's the number. He pretty much is the number one thing carrying stars right now with Power, and he's got like a long term deal. And now they're gonna do. Let me see. What platform is 50th Law of Power coming
I
on?
need to know what's number one right now. I refuse to believe that Full Life is the number one show when they still got Blackish out there and Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, 50th. It's gonna be a Netflix show.
Mm.
So this will be 50 Cent's third network that he's touching. Stars, Disney with ABC, and now Netflix. This boy is doing things by himself.
Good for him.
I respect it. I respect it a lot. So I'm always interested in some of the stuff he puts out. Like even though I know I'm not like I don't listen to him as much as I used to, listen to his music or anything like that. But like his business moves, he's and his interest in production and film and
Hmm.
television specifically, he's been uh, he's been really growing in that. He's gotten really good at it.
Hmm.
And Kenya Barris, you know,
He's
I
all
think
right.
they'll, I think they'll make a good combination, right? I think Kenya Barris tried to do something edgy on Netflix with Black hashtag Black AF, and
Hmm.
it didn't get the response I think he was expecting.
Oh, not
But
at all.
50 working with him can, if given that type of creative control, can make things edgier, right? He would definitely bring what Kenya is missing. and
Okay.
they're gonna make an adaptation of the 50th Law, which is 50's book, right? It's his
Hmm.
best-selling book.
I think I will. Okay.
So yeah, I'm curious about it. I'm excited about it. Wanted to throw it out there. Um, what else is there? I was going to talk about the Coming to America sequel, but ain't nothing really to talk about.
Hmm.
Jermaine Fowler was fronting like there's going to be a third movie, but we'll see. You know, he's supposed to do that. Um, oh, Sasha Calle, she was cast as Supergirl on Instagram
Yeah,
Live.
that was a cool little, thing. I like because it's kind of like sometimes I think we forget that, these actors are like real people, and I just thought that was kind of dope. Did you watch the whole thing?
I did. I thought it was dope that we got to see it, but then I was like, man, that's kind of messed up because like you just exposed a sensitive moment to the whole world.
Ah, well, it
Right.
happens.
Right. But it was great to see it. It's great news. I like that we're getting a Supergirl in the Flash movie. I'm a little worried because it feels like they're kind of doing what I just described with overstuffing this movie with characters. But
Hmm.
I'm excited. You know, like I said, I have my expectations here when it comes to DC movies, so they can do whatever they want.
Hmm. Hmm.
They can do whatever they want.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hearing good things about this Superman and Lois series, but I'm just at the point where I don't really care.
Do you watch The Flash?
Yeah, but I'm very behind.
Is the
Like,
Flash look? Is the Flash good or is the Flash awesome?
it's good. If those are the only two options, it's good.
I don't know. I thought it was all everything with the first season with Reverse Flash.
No,
Everything
I
about that
like that. Yo,
yo.
that I like. What I didn't like, or what we don't like, because I think me and my daughter we're watching it. Um, we're on season 4 with the Thinker, you
Hmm.
know, and which I love, by the way, because I hate when superheroes in general have to go against mirror villains. Like, to me, that's just the laziest thing in the world.
Right.
Just like, hey, you have the same abilities I have, but you're just evil. Like, that's stupid. I like
Yep.
it when you have an Iron Man, someone that's science based, going against the Mandarin that's using magic.
Yep.
Like, I want to see how you. I like the fact that Barry, as the Flash, is going against the Thinker.
Yep.
Like somebody that is just strategic. Like those type of things. I love that. It's one of the reasons why I love the Batman and Joker so much, and I think that's why they work. Because
Yep.
yeah, Batman could kick his butt all day, but the Joker's the one person that can like outthink him
Here's
because he's
here's
so random.
here's what I think makes the Flash show awesome.
Oh boy.
What makes a superhero movie work? A superhero movie is only as good as its villain, like you're saying.
True.
And the Flash TV show has amazing
They do have
villains.
good villains. I
They
will
have
give you
like
that. Because Zoom was a
wow.
good villain.
You
Reverse Flash was a good villain.
uh
Um,
Captain Cold is a good villain.
no,
Like
he
even these
is
little
not. No,
corny.
he is not. No,
Oh
he
my
was
god.
not. He
Yo.
was like annoying as hell. No, no, no. Like
I
the
love all
villains that are willing to cross
Gorilla
the
Grodd.
yeah, whatever. The villains that are willing, maybe they get better later. I mean, I'm only on season 4. I don't know, but all I know is the ones that are willing to uh do what they need to do. You know what I'm saying? Like my man Zoom was out here killing himself. He was like, bro, hey, here's the thing. He would talk himself into allowing him to kill himself. I
Yo,
was like, yo, this is a man. This man is dedicated. This is
yo.
dedication. If his other copy was like, oh, word, you just gotta kill him, bro. I'm down for the cause. Let's go.
Right, let's torture Barry. Let's
What?
go.
Oh, that was great.
See, mm, I'm okay with DC in that regard.
I mean, if you want to talk about DC, see,
I love the Flash. No, no, that's okay. No, no,
what we
I
not
love the
about to
Flash.
do.
That's all.
What we not about to do is put a pass on what they do on the TV side, which is good, and what they do on the animated side, which is amazing, compared to what they do on the live action movie side, which is questionable at best.
So the annoying part of DC is that they have too many goddamn sides, right? When you say the TV side, are you talking about the CW, or are you
Yes,
talking about the Titans TV show, or are you talking
both,
about the
both of
other
them, both
shows
of
that
them.
they
Like
got? Or are you talking about
anything on the TV
Constantine?
side,
Or are you
anything on
talking
the
about the
TV side.
Keanu Reeves movie with Constantine? Or are you talking about the Constantine sequel from the TV? Like, this is, damn it, man. which
They
DC
are,
are you talking
but
about?
you see, this is why Marvel was like, "Yo, put me, Kevin Feige, over everything."
Yo, no one man should have so much power.
My man,
I
he got all the power in the world.
so
This man, if a comic book come out wrong, he gonna have some say on it.
and that's where I think they kind of overdid it. I
I
think like let the comic book thing be
Yeah,
autonomous and
but
be in
he
its own little
wants
bubble,
those.
and
Here's the
let it
thing.
continue to be creative on its own and without your influence, right? You're
Yeah,
gonna keep mining whatever stuff they do to differentiate
the
themselves
problem,
anyway.
the real problem, I think, is the fact that one, and this is a good thing for them, nobody can be another Kevin Feige,
Mm.
right? Like Kevin Feige is a one-man machine with ideas and innovative, strategies and stuff. So it's impossible to anticipate him and to be like, oh yeah, we got the Marvel formula down. No, you don't. Like Sony thought that they had the Marvel formula down. DC thought they had it down. No, they didn't. So, but the problem with this, and this happens with Apple, the company. I told you, Kevin Feige is like Steve Jobs. What happened when Steve Jobs died? So did Apple's innovation. After a while, they started to rely on Cook because Cook was always the business guy. He was always the guy like, yo, how can we get every penny out of every iPhone? Oh, I know. Let's just do incremental upgrades. We ain't got to be innovative. We just got to give you a iPhone S. Okay, now it's the iPhone S1, iPhone S2,
Yeah,
whatever.
Apple's
And
making money, and
they
and
make money,
I
but
will
that's the thing.
not I will
They know
not
how to make
talk
money, but
bad about
that's not my
My
point.
Apple stock, my Apple
No,
Plus, they were
hey,
so
hey,
kind enough
hey,
to give me.
I'm on Apple stock too. I'm not talking about their money. I'm talking about their innovation. Their
So
innovation is not what it used to be compared to when Jobs was around. So what I'm saying is for Kevin Feige, if God forbid Kevin Feige passes away or he's just done with movies, Marvel will not be able to continue the way that they're going because you're gonna have
and
one
that's
man
why they
can't have
put
that much
too
power.
much power. Too
No,
much.
it's
Too
not that
much.
it's too much because
It's
if
too
you
much
get
eggs in one basket,
no, no,
if
no, it's
anything.
only too much. It's only too much when it breaks. Okay, like it's not. It's only too
It's a
much until
single
that
point
basket
of
breaks.
failure. Like if this is just like, straight up engineering, right? Like if you're gonna design something and you're gonna give it a bottleneck, a single point of failure, this is a terrible idea. Like you said, if something happens to Kevin Feige, that means their television, their movie, and their comic distributions are all without their leadership.
Yeah, I mean that. But my thing is though, like he's handling it, and I would
I'm not
also,
saying he can't handle it. I'm saying
yeah,
this is not built to
it's not
last.
sustainable.
It's
I
not
mean,
sustainable.
it's going to come and go with him. It's gonna come and go with him.
You
I
know,
mean, look what happened with Stan Lee. Stan ran his course,
hmm
and after it kind of left his control for a little bit, Marvel tanked. Marvel was going down, and yeah, they rebounded eventually later,
yep.
but
Now, Marvel might have all the eggs in one basket, but Disney doesn't. Disney's playing it
Disney does
smart.
not. Yes,
Disney's playing it very
true.
smart. They got one hand in the Marvel basket. They got one hand in the Star Wars
Oh,
basket. They got
no
another hand in the
question.
Pixar basket.
No
They got another
question.
hand in their own animation
Disney's not
department.
about to be hurting if Kevin Feige's not around. They
Yeah,
will. I mean, they will manage. They will
isn't
manage.
there like
Just fine.
another Pixar movie coming out or another? They
Raya,
just
something.
yeah,
Yeah.
they just did so. I remember before Pixar movies were once every 2 to 4 years.
Couple of
Now
years.
they're every 3 months.
Yeah, man. Yeah, they
Yo,
are.
yo. Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars.
I think they just released some dates.
The Bad Batch. The Bad
Yeah.
Batch is coming out in March.
What
This
March?
March,
This
like
March?
no, or May 4th.
Ooh.
May
Okay.
4th. It's coming out
Okay.
May 4th on Star Wars Day.
Okay.
Look, we already have Marvel stuff. Like we were already
With
like
it.
in, right? Like
I'm
I'm
with it.
tuning in at least. I'm opening this app at least once a week for the Disney shows. Now they're
Yeah.
adding Star Wars. They're trying to slowly fill up their platform with content. They've been like, I don't know how. They've just been like farting out documentaries left and right. Like they have so many the making of Pixar, like the making of Pixar. Like, yeah, this
Right.
is how we made Pixar. Like, here's a documentary on the Vision because, we ain't got stuff on here.
Right.
Right? They've been farting out documentaries, but now they're getting actual content. Dude, I'm gonna buy more Disney stock, but I
You
see this
should.
like I
Hey, we
see
already
this
talked about
like
that. You
yeah.
should.
Well, you mentioned something about this girl. I'm sorry. I don't want to say it like that. I don't want to be
I'm like, what?
disrespectful.
What are we talking about?
Gina Carano.
Yeah.
I say this girl because like it's I don't mean it like that. I mean it like, when you kind of like somebody got in trouble, you're like, oh, this girl. Like
Mm.
Gina Carano.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I started to write the headline for this, like days in advance, but I was sitting here working on the topics, I kept changing the headline. It was like, first it was, Gina Carano's not going to be on The Mandalorian no more. And then it was Gina Carano claps back. Then Gina Carano's got a new movie coming out with some newspaper organization. Now it's and this might not even be the latest news anymore. You could correct me if I'm wrong, but the last one I had was Gina Carano calls out Mandalorian star Pedro Pascal for sharing Ted Cruz's phone number.
Yeah, I don't even think that's the latest with her, but um, it's
There's been more.
definitely the dumbest. Um, I mean, he shared Ted Cruz's office number, which, as an elected official, is already public. She made it sound as though like he shared his cell phone or something for people to harass him. No,
Right?
like Pedro shared the office of a government official,
That's
an
publicly
elected
listed.
senator that's
Is
already publicly listed, so that people could voice their concerns about what happened on January 6th. That's not There's nothing incendiary around that. It's literally his job to take
she's mad.
calls, But the problem is the fact that people that follow the right wing, conservative, conspiracy theory, whatever, they don't, a lot of the times, they don't care about context. They don't. It's sad to say, they just would rather be like whatever they want to live in a different reality. That's not like a matter of opinion. It is a matter of fact. Like we'll literally all look at the same thing and they'll be like, "No, I don't believe that." Yo, like, what does it take? But what does it really take? Like seriously, forget politics. Forget
Yo,
whatever side
yo,
you're on. Forget whatever side you're
I'm
on.
not, I'm
What
not,
does it actually take?
I'm not getting into this.
You don't have to. I do because I'm seriously sitting here asking, if you put your politics aside, what does it take to literally change your mind? Because if government officials that are in your own party
Yeah.
tell you no, courts that, by the way, are in your party or elected by your party tell you no, and just so on and so on and so on. It's like, at what point are you going
She
to accept the
she
answer
just
is
felt
no?
like it was an attack to share someone's number. She didn't understand that it was publicly listed. She
Clearly,
didn't look it up. She
okay,
just
and that's fine.
tweeted,
I mean, she could.
and it's a human mistake. Look, she's
Sure,
just human.
sure, sure.
Honestly
But here's the
feel like
thing: this isn't her first time. Like, she has a track record of coming out and saying things. And here's the other thing: I think that people also
but
don't take into consideration when it comes to Gina. Not only has she had this track record of posting things, um, she simply just was not rehired. Like, it's not like she had a contract
oh
and
come
Disney
on,
was like,
man.
"All right, we're gonna
Don't do
tear
that.
this up." No, I'm
Don't
just
do
saying,
that.
like, that's the fact. They
Listen,
just simply
I
were
get
like,
it,
yo, we're
right?
just not
When
going to
you have a
sign.
contractor, right, you
Yes.
don't fire people because they're not
Right.
employees, right?
Right.
Employees get health care benefits, they get all sorts of things that no,
But they're also not obligated to rehire you.
rehire you, right?
Yeah.
So you could just say, oh, we just didn't bring you back on next
Sure.
season. We
And
brought
that's all.
everybody but you.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
So come
That's
on,
the
that's
that's the
semantics.
that's the
That's
contract. I mean, but
semantics.
it's not semantics. It's also legal. It's kind of like they
Yeah,
didn't
but I'm just saying
they
it's
didn't do
semantics. I'm
you
not saying
any
that
wrong.
she's fired, but she's not going to be on the show anymore. That's what we're
Sure.
saying. All
Sure.
right.
You're not gonna be on the
So,
show no more. We don't. But they don't have to. They never were obligated to. Now,
but
if she was still under contract, and they were like, yeah, we're not gonna put you on.
regardless, I
Now
mean,
that's a
like
problem.
they brought her back in season 2 because of how popular she was in season 1.
Sure. Sure. But
And
now she's not going to be that popular because people are reminded
oh,
of, and this is the other thing though. This is
she's going to
why
stay popular.
no no no
I
no no no, no.
saw.
She's losing the other side of popularity. Like the people who, let's just say, were on a different political spectrum that ignored or just didn't care about
Mm,
what she was posting. Now once you start picking sides and you're outright with it, people have their natural biases, their tribalism, their political biases,
exactly, and
and
that's what's going to give
she's going
her
no,
more popularity.
she's going to
That's
get
what
more
it is.
popularity on the other side with
Yeah,
all the
because
conservatives.
people are going to want to try to disagree with her. Because people are going to be attracted to her messaging and they're going to want to engage with
No,
her and
she's not
attracted
that
disagree with.
talented.
She's going to
She's
be like
not.
she's going to be like
No,
a Tommy Lahren.
no, she's not. She's not
Cara
talented.
Dune action
She's not
figures
that
are
talented.
selling for $10,000 on eBay. Now that
So, who-
Disney is no longer producing them.
it's going to conservatives. She's going to be
ten
hot on the right wing, and
thousand dollars.
that's fine if she's going to be hot on the right wing. But let me tell you this: are you about to go watch her new movie that she's going to
Nope.
make? Okay, then. That's what I'm saying. Like, even if you don't agree with her, you're not about to go checking for her because she's not
I'm
that
not gonna.
talented.
I never watched her. Right. I didn't
I,
watch her in UFC. I didn't. I forgot who she was when she came on The Mandalorian. I had to get reminded, and I'm okay with her being gone. She's all right. You know, I'm
I mean,
all right
look, the
with
only
it.
reason why I
But
don't care about her situation is because she brought this on herself. Like the thing is, you know who you work for, right? You know who you're partnered with. You know who your relationships are, on the business side of things. So you know good and well that you can say and not say certain things, or
I
it's how you say certain things.
I want to feel bad for her.
I
That's
I
I
you
don't know
can't.
why. I'm not
You
saying I
can't.
do. I'm saying
Yeah.
I want to feel bad for her
I mean,
because
I think
I
one
honestly feel like she thinks she's
right.
saying something right. She's the
Right, right,
hero in
right.
her mind, right? So
Right.
she really
Right.
feels like justified. So I
Yes.
want to feel
But
bad for
she
her.
doesn't but here's the thing. Even if she felt that way, even if she did, she's a repeat offender. And that's kind of the problem. That's where I'm like, it's harder for me to continue sympathizing when I see your track record, especially your track record with Disney. Because if it was like different companies, okay, you could have different perspectives, people bump heads. I get that, different personalities. You with the same company, you having the same pushback, you're getting the same. It's kind of like, yo, even if you disagree, even if you're like, yo, I don't like how Disney operates, I don't like how they believe, whatever,
Listen,
you still have the conscious ability to continue doing what you're doing
all the
or not.
shows that they have coming out now, I don't. I listen. We'll miss you. Goodbye.
Won't, won't. No, we won't. Ain't
No,
nobody gonna be checking for
I'm
her.
just being polite. That's all I'm just saying.
Oh,
We'll
okay.
miss you. So,
I'll be real then. No, we won't.
listen, um, we asked this before and we kind of got head faked. And I think after some time has sunk in and we look back at the actual events, we know that this question is still in the air. Who is Monica's friend that's
Oh,
going to show up? Is
yeah.
it going to be you still saying this? You still holding on to Reed?
I think that has to be it. I mean, well, though I don't want to say it has to be it. It can be multiple things, right? So, um, I think the best bet would be if it was Reed Richards.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like I said, there are too many opportunities, too many I don't want to call them Easter eggs because they're not Easter eggs until they actually happen. But there are too many possibilities and room for the Fantastic Four. Just look at the design of Sword, like their outfits. They look kind of Fantastic Four-ish.
They look
Just
like
a little.
Monica Rambeau's costume.
That's what I'm saying. That too. So I'm just saying the fact that they're kind of making some wiggle room for this stuff is kind of sitting. I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, you
They
talking
could
about an
also be
astronaut.
messing with us because they
They
obviously know us.
totally
They
could.
know us
They
better than we
totally
know
could.
us.
But look, they messed with us with Pietro, didn't they? That for them couple of minutes when they showed him the back of his head and stuff, and we was
Yeah,
like, oh, it's Aaron Taylor, oh, it's Evan Peter, So
yeah.
they totally know us. But like I said, I mean, John Krasinski, he has had his conversation with Marvel, and that was months ago, so that's plenty of time for them to do a secret shoot. I have it on good information that Marvel does secret shoots for these shows, and I am not at liberty to say which show it is or who the actor is, but from what I was told, only 6 people knew that this actor was appearing in a certain Marvel show. That we're not going to see for like almost a year. And I was sitting here, I was like, wow. And I couldn't leak the information. I can't mention it because it's literally only 6 people know this. So if these 6 people know, or if the news even comes out, then my source gets outed. So that lets me know, like, man, if y'all able to do that, and y'all did what y'all did with Mark Hamill on Star Wars, y'all got this covered. So I do think that it could be John Krasinski. Um, you know, I don't see why we would care. Like, why would we care if Monica's like, yeah, I've got an aerospace engineer friend and blah blah blah, and it's like some random scroll, just a random scroll. Don't really care. Now,
All right.
If it's Talos, maybe, like that would be an interesting connection to have Talos come in and, because he's gonna have his thing with Nick Fury and stuff.
But
You know,
would he be able? Would he give her a vehicle that looked that ugly, like that man made? Excuse me.
I don't know. I mean, we're if you talk about an aerospace engineer, we're just talking about like, aliens just being more advanced than us. That's all.
Yo,
So
I'm
for them, aerospace is stuff that they do in like, elementary school or something, if they have that.
I'm sticking with Amadeus.
And that's the other thing. It could be Chow. He could be there, but that's the other thing. Like, I don't know how much we're going to care about that. Like for example,
This
the
is
average viewer, like the only people that's going to be excited about Amadeus Chow are going to be comic book
hold
fans.
on, hold on,
That's it.
hold on. We're talking about a show in which we're excited about Wanda, Vision, Monica Rambeau,
Yeah,
Kat Dennings. Like
yeah.
this
People
yeah.
that have had foundations
I
in the
mean,
MCU. You're talking about
Kat,
Cho, who
not.
has never been
I'm talking
introduced.
about like when you're talking about characters in Marvel's pantheon of A-list, B-list, and C-list characters.
But
We're around the
there's a
C-list.
difference. No, no, no. There's a difference between characters that we've seen and become already familiar with. We know
But
Darcy.
they just
We know
introduced
Jimmy.
Monica.
Huh?
They just introduced Monica.
No. Technically, we knew Monica from Captain Marvel.
That's not Monica. Don't do that. That
Stop
was
it.
some
Stop
child
it. Stop
playing
it.
Monica.
Stop it. We knew the character, is what I'm
Existed,
saying.
but nobody got the attachment to Monica until
Come
the show.
on,
That's
man.
not the real Monica. That doesn't count.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now we live in a different reality.
Yo,
Um,
her
but anyway,
character was like, was she? Did she even speak in that movie?
are you kidding? Yes.
I don't remember.
That's your fault then. She's the one that picked out the colors for Captain Marvel's suit. Whatever. You don't watch movies. Did we put
And
the board already? Did we? Because I know we lost our last bet.
I said it was
What
going
was
to
our
be
last?
Cho. You said it's going to be Mr.
I said it would
Fantastic.
be okay. And what was it? Oh, okay. So Agnes versus another main villain. Okay, so I had called Agnes. I've been calling her as like the main one, but there's still 2 episodes left, so we have to see.
I still think Wanda's the main villain.
No, I mean,
Ag-
she
I,
literally just showed you it was. She
no,
got a
she
whole
showed
song.
us. She showed us a whole song
She
showing
got
us
a
how
whole
she
song that's number
manipulated.
one on
She
iTunes.
man, she manipulated Wanda into doing crazy things in a town, not to hurt anybody, not to
Sure.
kill anybody, none of that stuff. All she did was she took Wanda and she put her in a town. She didn't do anything dangerous. So for all we know, Agatha was.
Actually, we don't know that.
For all we know, Agatha could have been trying to stop Wanda when Wanda was going having a mental breakdown.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
and
why she
got
kidnapped the kids?
them fake children, and she tried to get them away from her when because she knows Wanda's not all there.
You really caping for Agatha right now?
Yo, Agatha
You
is
out here caping for Agatha. Wow.
only because I know her comics history, and she's been that type of character, right? She looks like she's doing bad, but she's really doing good. And
She killed
it's
Sparky too.
the fake dog.
Okay.
Wanda is creating fake children and dogs and treating them like they're real people. And then on top of that, not only are they becoming real, they're developing powers. I think as a witch, if you were trying to prevent crazy stuff from happening, this is some crazy stuff that slipped through the cracks, right? You've got now magical manifestations with their own powers that you don't know if they walk outside the hex if they'll be real.
You are legit caping for
Yeah,
Agatha right now. The main villain. They, this
Wanda
is what
is
I'm
the
talking
villain.
about. This is what I'm talking about.
Wanda is the villain.
What is it gonna take? What is it gonna
Wanda
take?
is the
You
villain.
literally had this woman do a whole Broadway production telling you it was me all along.
Marvel knows how to
Okay,
play us,
okay.
right? They make good episodes, right? They make a good narrative between the 30 to 45 minutes that episode is, and then the next week we find out everything we thought we knew was wrong, but it was fun to talk about it for 7 days.
All right,
Same thing here.
all right. I don't think it's Cho, and it's definitely Agatha. I do think that Agatha might be working with somebody else. Maybe there's
The
some other
only
hint later, but
the only weird thing is if they decide to bring in Mephisto, which I don't think they'll do, but they
I
definitely
don't think
have
they'll
to
do that. But I
premise it
mean,
with these
I think
children.
there's a difference between hinting that Mephisto or whoever, what was that, Cathan? Like
I think, yeah,
you can hint that those people
I think
exist,
I
but
think they're
that
gonna
doesn't
just take
mean
that and make it so that these are just manifestations of the Infinity Stones. I still think they're gonna wrap it back to them stones
like
somehow,
that would be stupid.
right?
If they do that, that would be
The
stupid.
Infinity Stones are taking human form. Wanda's glowing the same colors as an Infinity Stone. So does Captain Marvel. So does Speed. So does Wiccan,
So we
right?
just gonna keep
When
dipping in that
Wiccan
whole well, huh?
when Wiccan uses his powers, he glows a different color than his mother, which
So we
just
just
so happens to be the
so
same
Marvel's
color
just gonna
as an
keep
Infinity
dipping in
Stone.
the same well because that's creative. No, no, no more Infinity Stones.
They're walking, talking people now.
They are. They need them for the Young Avengers.
No, I'm saying the Infinity Stones. That's a whole
No,
other story.
no,
Right?
no. They're done with that.
All right.
They're done with that. It's that would be
We'll
so
let the
bad.
people decide.
Okay, I don't know.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you real quick. There's a whole storyline where it was really bad. It was really, 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 really bad. And it was a story about where Loki actually got all of the Infinity Stones. It's very recent.
Hmm.
Loki got all the Infinity Stones. I'm sorry. First, Gamora got all the Infinity Stones. The first thing she did was she killed Thanos. She beheaded
Right.
him. And
Right.
then after she did that, she like made some weird universe where she merged heroes together. So like Iron Man was merged with Doctor Strange, and Captain America was merged with
Oh
like
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
Punisher.
I
So
remember
weird
that.
stuff
Yeah.
like this,
Yeah.
right? And then Loki got his hand on the Infinity Stones.
Hmm.
And then throughout all of this, at the end of the story, the Infinity Stones, it was really, really bad. Like everybody's fighting Infinity Stones, but they eventually get destroyed. And they don't get outright destroyed the right way. They get destroyed kind of like they did in the comics, in that they got turned to like atoms or dust or
Hmm.
something.
Hmm.
And then over the course of time, what Marvel decided to do was they had the Infinity Stones reconstitute themselves, but not reconstitute themselves, but like have their presence or their ethereal form merge or bond with human beings or living creatures. And then the Infinity Stones would endow that person with their particular power. So somebody would get the power over time, the omnipotent power of time or power
Hmm.
or reality. Um, and they carried on that storyline for a while. It
Hmm.
was very much not liked. It was very much hated. However, Marvel does like to borrow from multiple storylines to
Sure.
make one cohesive narrative. This
Sure.
sounds like something that they set up, or at least they
Not
took
at all.
inspiration from.
Not
And
even a tad bit.
they definitely take inspiration from recent storylines. We know that with the Children of Thanos,
How many
but this
stories do you want them to take? Because right now we already have the Vision, we have the Avengers Disassembled,
disassembled
and we have
House
a
of M.
little bit of House of M. That's
Yeah,
already three stories, and
and
you're
Pleasant
already trying
Hill,
to
a
throw in a
little bit of
fourth.
Pleasant Hill, a
And
little
you're
bit of
trying to,
Pleasant Hill.
yeah, and okay, a little bit of Pleasant Hill. But now you want to throw in a fifth? You want to throw in a fifth? Like this is what I'm talking about. We people, and I'm not just saying it's you, because like people do this on my channel. I see people
So
do this in YouTube
I
videos.
found out
People do not. They need
the
to
story
chill.
with Speed and Wiccan when they were first created didn't happen in Disassembled. It actually happened like back in like the
Sure.
80s.
Right, but that doesn't take away from what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the fact that like Marvel doesn't care about comic fans like that.
No,
They
and I don't think they
appeal
do.
they appeal to the person that's never
And
picked up
I
a comic
agree, but
book.
I do think that they cherry pick concepts to make a
They
whole new
cherry pick
story.
broader concepts, but the thing is you also have to think about the concepts that are easier for non-comic conditioned people to absorb. If you sit here and talk about some the Infinity Stones have been taking human form and this, people gonna be like, "Yo, is this magic? Is it science? Is it what?" Like that's not something.
The
It's too
Infinity
high level.
Stones erase all of life,
It's
half of
too
all life.
high level. It's too
The
high level.
Infinity Stones erase
No,
half of all life. I think we're beyond in a time travel movie. I think we're beyond those types of concept acceptance now.
it's not. And
We
the
crossed the
reason why
Rubicon.
you're seeing more grounded shows from them is going to be proof positive of that. You're not the after WandaVision, the most fantastical thing we might see might come from Loki and
Hmm.
then maybe the Eternals. Like for 2021. Like that could be the most fantasy, wild conceptual type of thing. After that, Ms. Marvel's probably going to be grounded. I think Moon Knight
Man,
might be. She-Hulk is definitely going to be grounded. Like
we'll see.
they
Like
not about to
Eternals
do
is
all
not
this
going to be
extra stuff.
grounded. Eternals, I
Y'all,
think it's
y'all
going to
be
be on
you
some.
be wanting stuff from like phase 6 and phase 4. We haven't even gotten to mutants yet. We ain't even got to mutants and you
Hold on,
want to
I
have
don't.
human
Phase four,
beings?
I think is going to be a short phase. I think phase four is like all of
I
2021.
yeah, yeah,
That's it.
no,
After
it's 21.
2021, we're
It's
done.
it's up to 2022. But what I'm saying is, we ain't even got to Blade. We ain't even got to
I ain't even
mutants yet.
thinking about
You know
Blade yet.
how
I ain't thinking
far
about mutants.
back? You know how far back the the gap is in terms of where the MCU is compared to what the comics even touch? Like
Yes, and
we're
I don't
still
think
in
they
the
plan on doing.
80s,
I don't think they plan on doing all that, and
bro.
I
We're
don't think
still
they
in the
plan on
80s.
following that chronology. Right? They definitely have already take.
No,
They
I'm talking about
lately
conceptually. No, I'm not talking about chronologically.
conceptually
I'm
they
not
take
talking about that.
things from recent and they work backwards.
No, they do that narratively, not conceptually. Narratively, yes, you're right. They will pick certain parts of storylines, bring them in, mix it up with something modern or different, whatever. But conceptually, they are still in the past. I've said this before. When did they start doing time travel in the comics? In like the
That's
70s.
yeah, but
Multiverse stuff. That was the 80s. The MCU just started
yeah,
doing this now.
but the MCU is like 10 years into its life. So when
So,
Marvel started doing, yeah, Marvel
so,
was 10 years in its life when it started doing that. You got to remember, Spider-Man came out in 1963. So in the 70s, when they started doing time travel, it was 10 years in.
but that's a whole different market. The pace is not going to be the same.
What do you
The
mean?
pace,
Dude, it was people in the 60s. They didn't even have computers and they had to
I,
understand the concept of the multiverse.
yeah,
Yeah, no. This
I'm
is
just saying that was a smaller audience. It's much more niche compared to trying to appeal to your everyday average person.
But the everyday average person is a little bit more conditioned than what we're giving them credit for, right? This is
They
a
are.
generation. Yeah, this is a
They
generation that
are.
grew up with Back to the Future.
Bro, these are
This is a
people that,
generation that grew up with Looper. This is a generation that has time loop movies as romantic comedies that we don't even watch. They just be out there.
man, you talking about people that watch Endgame. They told you in Endgame time travel is not Back to the Future, and people were still like, this don't make sense because it's not Back to the Future.
But you know what? They loved the movie to the point that it was the highest grossing movie of all
I
time, and
mean,
they
yeah,
came
they
back and
still
watched it
liked it. Yeah,
repeated.
for sure. But I'm just saying from a
So
conceptual
like
point,
from a conceptual
they're
point, I
going to
think
go
we're
slow.
we're past that point where Marvel's going to be hesitant to introduce these ideas.
Yeah, nah. They're gonna take it slow. They're gonna introduce. They're gonna handhold. Because again, they already have people like me and you. They know we're gonna tune in. They
Oh,
need.
they know they're making content for us, right? They
Yes.
know we're going to fill in the
They
blanks
know
for
we're
people.
gonna do everything for them. Before even WandaVision hit, and it was like, hey, Agnes, but we was like Agatha, Mephisto, maybe the Darkhold. This is before season episode 1 even dropped. You know, now some of those things hit, some of them have yet to be revealed, some might not be revealed. But it's one of those things where like even the reveal with Agatha, did that shock you? I know it didn't shock me.
No,
You're
but
right.
that's the obvious misdirect though. That's
Yeah,
why I'm
but then
saying
again,
it's
say
more.
that's somebody who's never watched comics,
So
and they're gonna be like, "Yo, that
that's why
really
I'm
got."
like it's going to be more obvious that in hindsight that Wanda was the villain all along. You know, there's still people who sit here and watch Captain America Civil War and don't believe that Iron Man was a villain.
Oh, he was definitely a villain.
There's
He was the
people who still
antagonist.
don't realize that Iron
He
Man
was the
was a villain.
antagonist. He was the
So like
antagonist.
it's gonna be one of those things. It's gonna be like, and you know, and Black Panther not as much, but to a degree they kind of toyed with that concept of the anti-hero, or your hero is your villain, or your villain is your
Yeah.
hero type thing. It's gonna be. I think WandaVision. We're gonna learn Wanda is ultimately the villain, and Wanda will die.
No. I think what will end up happening. How's she gonna die if she's supposed to be in part 2 of Doctor Strange?
There's a multiverse,
Man, stop it.
right? Didn't we just get back
Stop it, man.
Gamora?
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Didn't we just
Stop
get
it.
back
Let me tell you.
Gamora?
I'll tell you
Didn't we
exactly
get
how it
back Groot?
ends.
We got a whole nother group.
Let me
Marvel
tell you
kills
how
characters low
let
key.
me tell you how it ends. It's going to end with, first of all, Vision is probably going to come in and
And they're letting us
save,
know that these deaths count.
whatever. The Vision is probably going to come in and save Wanda. They're going to fight together against Agatha. I'm guessing it's going to be a battle royale, so maybe the twins, Vision, and
Wanda is
Wanda,
more
they're
powerful
going to
than
fight
Agatha.
against Agatha, Pietro, and
If
probably some
Agatha
magical
could have stopped
creatures.
Wanda, she would have. She would have been done whatever
I
she was trying
agree,
to
but
do.
I'm under the impression that she's siphoning Wanda's powers. So, the real question is, does she have enough of Wanda's powers to fight against her? Because the other thing I'm sitting here wondering is like, I'm waiting for them, because I don't even want to do a theory on this. I'm waiting for them to explain how Agatha's powers work, because she was mimicking everything that Wanda could do. Like her telekinesis is the same as Wanda's. Her mind control looks exactly the same as
It's a
Wanda's,
different
except
color.
with a different color. But I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, is it because you could have done that all along? or did you literally steal her power? Did you literally steal whatever
She had her
she's
own
able to
power.
do?
She
You
just
steal.
actually caught her off guard.
It,
Wanda,
it, it
see,
could be
so
that.
here's the Wanda. The only time Agatha pulled her move is when Wanda overstretched herself by expanding the barrier of the hex. Prior to that, she's always been under Wanda's spell to a degree. She couldn't even get out of her
No,
car
she
with
was.
Vision.
No, she
She
wasn't.
could not.
She literally
She
just
could
showed you that
not
that was
get
not the
out
case,
of her car
dude.
when Vision saw her.
She literally showed that that was not the
She
case.
showed that she had some level of control to influence some of the things Wanda was doing, yes. But I don't think that she was able to free herself or do the things that she wants to do until now, and not until Wanda
What are you
stretched herself
basing that
to.
on? What are you basing it on? Because again, they literally showed while she was talking to Vision, she looked at the camera and was like, "Ha ha ha! I'm not under control."
True.
Like, I mean, I'm just saying, like, what are we basing that on? What are you basing it on then?
The fact that she waited to lure Wanda into her creepy basement.
So,
And the only time that happened is after she expanded the barrier of the hex, and we've seen the weakening of her powers throughout the city.
but we've
Something
also
that
seen her
they
do. I mean, okay, you can't make
So
these
no, hold
statements
on, hold on,
without
hold on, hold
taking
on.
in
They're
consideration the
introducing
whole
the concept,
montage.
but they've been introducing the concept that Wanda's power is weaker as it gets
It
closer to
is
the
getting
boundary of the
weaker.
hex.
It is
No,
getting.
no. Prior to that, whenever it was the boundary of the hex, the people in the town weren't even moving. Her powers wouldn't allow her to program them to the point that they had autonomy. So only the people who are around,
Well, we don't
like
know how long that lasted, though. We just knew that that was the case up until that episode.
that, that was the episode where we
So let me
learned that
introduce
that was
this
the
to you,
issue.
though. So
And
one
then
thing,
after she started
hold
expanding
on,
the
hold
town,
on, hold on, because one thing somebody pointed out was when you listen to the intro of every WandaVision episode, previously on WandaVision, that part, if you somebody took that clip from every episode and played them back to back to back to back, like from episode 1 all the way to 7,
Mhm.
she progressively sounds tired. So the very first episode, last time on WandaVision, second episode, last time on WandaVision. By the time you get to 7, last time on WandaVision. Like
Yeah, but
she's
because
get
her,
so I think what that means is that she has consistently been having her power drained from
I
her.
think that
And
she's been
yes, the
consistently,
expansion of the hex definitely took a toll on
I
her.
think she's been consistently utilizing her power in ways that it's taking a toll on her. She's never exhibited this level of power, and she doesn't even know her limits. That's the scary part. She doesn't know what she's not capable of doing until she tries. I remember before we talked about whether or not Wanda's limit was just that town. I think it was early on in this series. We were
Right,
talking
right,
about
right.
her
We were talking
whether
about
or
like the
not.
5 mile radius. Yeah.
Yeah, the 5 mile radius. And I
Yeah.
said, like, dude, her power is not that. The reason it didn't go further is because she didn't push herself.
She didn't push her. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
And then when Vision was in
yeah.
danger, she pushed
And I
herself.
but I also said that like we know the thing that amplifies her power is her emotions. Like when
Agatha
she
is
gets
trying to
emotional.
train her, and she sees that raw power unchecked. She sensed Wanda probably from afar, and she's definitely was attracted to her power. We don't know what her real goal is, but she's definitely trying to
Train
train
her for
her.
what?
We'll find out.
I don't
But
think she's trying to train her. I
I
think
do.
what she's trying to do, I think it's simpler than that. I mean, again, I think Marvel likes to go the simple route than all these complicated comic routes.
I think that
I
is a
think the
simple
simple,
route.
no, I think the simpler route is I like your power, because I'm also a witch, I'm a sorcerer. I'm stealing your exact power. So I'm not making my own power, more than whatever. I'm stealing exactly what you do because here's the thing, because I don't know how your power works, like I'm familiar with it, but I don't know what you're capable of. Every time she steals some of her power and weakens Wanda, she ends up doing similar things. I'll give you an example. When she started, what was it? When Wanda was starting to create people, right?
Hmm.
Like she created this whole reality, right? So then let's just say if we go off of the montage,
Only
uh,
people she created that we know for a fact are those children.
right. That's all she knows, right? And I want to say that Pietro was definitely an agent of Agatha. Like he works for Agatha.
Okay.
especially since we saw the magic on his back and stuff. The reason why I'm saying that is she's probably copying Wanda, because not imagine like if you were Superman and I was stealing all your abilities, right? And all of a sudden you're like, man, I can't do my super nuke power, that new power that they gave Superman where he could just
Mm-hmm.
blow up. And you were
Mm-hmm.
like, man, I can't do my nuke power anymore. And I've been stealing your power all this time, and I'm like, yo, you got a nuke power? You can do that? Now I know that I can do that because I've been stealing your power. And
So
when she said, or when the twins were like, yo, you can bring back the dead, you can fix the dead,
so
that's when you saw Agatha's eyes light up.
here's
And
some
then
wishful
right
thinking.
after that,
Here's some
Pietro
wishful
shows up.
thinking. No, here's some wishful thinking on my part because here's me going to be pulling from the comics again, a little bit.
Of course.
Here's where I hope they pull from the comics. I hope they pull from the comics and they change the analogy like this. I hope it's similar to your Superman. Superman showed up out of the sky, rocket spaceship. He's got superpowers, but instead of looking at him like a Lex Luthor and saying I want to sap your powers, she's looking at him like a Vandal Savage and saying, hey, listen, I've been here since for thousands of years.
Never
The
seen
the,
him
the
like you.
no, the things that I've seen are all the way that I think, my maturity and level of manipulation, the way I view things is beyond the way that you do, right? I'm not just thinking about the moment, I'm thinking in centuries. So, as someone who's lived as long as I live, when you come across me with all your power, I don't see something that I have to absorb your power. I see a tool that's going to help me get to my next goal. Because I've learned through long life, you don't have to have power, you have to wield it.
Okay.
So, as someone as in the comics, Agatha Harkness, she is 10,500 years old. She's one of the original Salem witches. She's one of the oldest magic users in the comics,
Mm-hmm.
right? So like it's not that Wanda is exhibiting some level of power that is I've never seen this before.
You sure? Anybody else had Infinity Stone related powers in that time?
Yeah, the Sorcerer Supremes. So like there's been Sorcerer Supremes for hundreds of years, and if she's a magic wielder that's been around for I'm hoping thousands of years, then she knows about them, right? She knows about the Sorcerer Supremes and the other magic wielders. She's familiar with the concept of magic and how someone can grow in strength. What was really cool about Doctor Strange was like we got to see the different scales of magic users. We got to see the trainees, and then we got to see the masters. And to show the level of power that Wanda is exhibiting without even mastering it, it just would be attractive to a dark sorceress. It would be like, listen, here's a pupil I need, or like it would be like a Sith, right? It's like a Sith Lord or a Jedi. Like, yo, I see a Padawan that just needs to get under my wing, and I mold them. I don't really care if they're hurting people. I've been around for thousands of years. I'm an immortal. I really don't care about mortals. But to beings like us who are exceptional, who are magic wielders, who can manipulate reality, this I care about. This is going to be something I'm going to invest myself in to investigate. She took over this whole town. She's leveling up. Now I caught my interest. I'm getting involved. And that's where I'm hoping they're going with Agatha Harkness. And I'm hoping we again learn that Agatha isn't the villain. She's an anti-hero. She's got her own motives or whatever the case may be. Wanda's the villain. Wanda's the one who took over the town.
Yeah.
Wanda's
So
the one. And
they already
they've been telling us.
they teased that though. They teased that. So I'm not saying Wanda is got her
They
hands clean at all. I agree that she is morally ambiguous right now. Because of the fact that she's got all that.
I'm
But
thinking
I
she'll
think that's
redeem herself in the end, but right now
yeah.
she's
But I think
still
that's kind of like what Monica is there for, right? I believe Monica is there because and this is why I said it was. This is how it's gonna end. Um, they're gonna have their little magic battle royale, right? Uh,
Mhm.
my man, Double Vision. The Double Vision theory is coming through. You gonna have
Yeah.
Sword drop they wanna be Vision. I don't know if it's the real Vision, maybe it's a copy, whatever. He gonna come through. We're gonna have a Vision versus Vision battle.
The
We're gonna
mirror
have a
villain again,
battle for
the one that
yeah,
you don't want.
the one I don't like, but I do kind of want to see this. um, but after
Oh
all
man,
that is
I
said
think
and
it's gonna
done,
be worse.
no, here's the thing.
It's gonna be like RoboCop, and we're
No,
gonna
but
get that.
here's the thing. When it's all said and done, and they've hinted this already, the number one thing that's gonna take Wanda down and stop all this madness is gonna be therapy. It's gonna be count. You're gonna
It's gonna
have
be.
you're gonna have Monica talk some sense into her, because every time, look at the pattern. Every time someone comes close to talking Wanda into facing reality,
They won't. And here's what they're gonna do. They're gonna make her forget.
who?
They're gonna erase her memory.
Oh man, so she forget her kids. Oh man.
And that's what's going to be tragic about it. That's what's going to be painful about it. We already know they're setting up that painful end. She's going to be the villain. She's definitely going to get her redeeming arc. And when it's all said and done, they're going to wipe her memory if they don't outright kill her.
Man, if they wipe her memory,
And then she's going to
that
go on
she could be a
never
villain
remembering.
down the road.
She'll never remember Vision or her kids or whatever however far they want to go with it.
Well, I think the vision she has is already not the real one. So I think he's going to be the one that's going to be like, yo, I need you to kill me again.
I want to say.
I think that's what it's going to happen.
I
That's
didn't
going to be the
believe
tragic
you
part.
that he wasn't the real villain, but a part of me feels like he could be an aspect of Wanda's mind that's like her conscience,
I don't think so.
right? Because she some of the characters are playing out aspects of her
Some
personality.
of them are
running around.
Some people are saying things that sounds like the truth of her subconscious leaking out. You know, so I get that. But the one thing,
this damn creepy thumbnail you posted
of what?
the damn Vision dead with them scary ass eyes. It's like on my homepage. I don't know why. I'm gonna unsubscribe.
No, don't. You should watch the video. It's a good video. But no, look. I'm trying to tell people, like, that Vision is not the real Vision, because one, he's not under mind control. We know this. We know that Wanda did not mind control him. I mean, he has the ability to wake people up, Neo style, out of the Matrix. And the fact that he is not able to remember stuff from before Westview, I feel like the reason why you can't remember nothing is because you literally were nothing before Westview. Like, not that you were dead, you were literally nothing.
No, I think that's just the damage to his brain. That big old divot that Thanos put in his head, that Debo-sized hole in his head.
If that was the case, we would have been seeing other issues, though.
You
mean that big old noggin that he done took? Like,
we do see some issues. A man don't know who he is, and every once in a while he gets under Wanda's spell.
He's not under Wanda's spell.
Not anymore, but he was.
No, he never was.
Yo.
He never was under her spell.
There was that moment where she was like, I forget, it was like the first or second episode, and he was saying something, and she was like, I just don't like where you're going with this, and she just changed his mind to change the subject, and he just started to.
She rewound.
No, not when she rewound reality. There was another moment. I know which one you're talking about, like when they were.
This is the black and white, right? No, I'm not talking about the white. No, I'm talking about when they were in the kitchen.
In the kitchen.
When they were in the kitchen, she rewound all of time, and she basically played another possibility. She didn't play with his mind. She was just like, "Yo, I don't like this take." Go look at it again.
I'm gonna look at it.
She was like, "Yo, I don't like this take of this scene. Let's replay this entire scene." But she did not control his mind. So anyway. If anything, maybe I guess you could argue she tapped into a quick mini pocket alternate reality and was like, I'm gonna go to the reality where he doesn't say this nonsense, and go with that. I want to say that was episode 1
or 2. Because they were back to back.
They were. I can't wait to go through them all again.
Let's see. I was supposed to record a closing, but I ain't gonna do it. I'm tired now. Wanda, damn Vision. All right, let me stop recording.
Damn, just like that.
What do you want?
Nothing, man. It's your show. I just
act like it's our show.
That's fine.
Oh, where's my stop button? I'm gonna try to do it without hanging up this time. I know every time I hang up,